Welcome to the Luton Ladies Lowdown. I'm your host Matt, and I'm joined by a very special guest this week, striker, young player of the year, and scorer of 2 goals in the last game. Welcome to the Luton Ladies pod, Gabs Spillman. How are you today?
Hi, I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing really well, thanks. Thank you very much for joining me on the show. Glad to have you here.
I'm glad to be here too.
So let's take a look back at the last game against Dussindale and Halliston Rovers FC Women, and any other news from the ladies team. Okay, football. So, on to the game on Sunday. The Luton ladies played away against Dussindale and Halliston Rovers up in Norwich. They won a decisive 5-0 victory. It was a long old journey up all the way up in Norwich. How was your day?
It was obviously a very long day. It began for me at about 7:30 and I got back around 9ish. Because Dulwich is about 2.5 hours journey on the coach, so it's quite far. And I got to Barton at around 9:30. We were actually meant to be there earlier, but I came with Faddy and he was late, so it's not my fault. But yeah, it was a very, very long journey. But our coach journeys at Luton are always really fun. We always have some music blasting, and there's always good vibes going on.
Awesome, glad to hear that. Yeah, I've had in some of the previous interviews, there's always talk about the Luton Ladies playlist, playing it all the time. So it was, I think it's pretty fair to say it was kind of a game of two halves. In the first half, there was obviously only one goal. That came from Tash Fenton. There were a few other opportunities. But then the second half was a real clinical masterclass. I believe it was somewhere around about 4 or 5 shots and 4 goals coming from it. And I heard you had a very big part in kind of that clinical nature with your incredible striking abilities. How was the whole game for you?
The game, it was awesome. It was actually my first proper game back from injury because I sprained my ankle at the beginning of September, so I was only allowed to play half an hour. But when I came onto the pitch, I was feeling confident. I was really glad to be back. So I just went for goal, and luckily I got 2 goals from it. But it was awesome to be back. I really, really enjoyed the game. Obviously, the first half was a bit rocky when I was watching it. But then once we got to the second half, we excelled. That last half hour was absolutely phenomenal throughout everyone in the team. It was really, really great.
I assume you had a big part of it, obviously, only being able to play half an hour. Suddenly, the last half an hour was really good.
Yeah, I mean, it did start to, just going into the second half, before I came on at the team, you could tell that there was some new energy in it, and we were just going for it all the time. So I was just lucky to be part of it when I came on.
Definitely that. So the goal scorers, that I've already mentioned, there were 2 that came from Tash Fenton, 1 from Chloe Martin, and 2 from yourself. How is it now that obviously Tash Fenton and Chloe Martin are both obviously new to Luton this season? How is it kind of playing with them? Are they bringing a bit more of a new edge to the football that's being played at Luton Ladies?
Oh, 100%. All the new players we've had, they've each impacted the team in their own different ways. I mean, Tash is just a phenomenal player to play with. I love how she plays. It's just watching her, I just look there and admire, because just the way she plays, it's just, I love it. She's so calm, she's so composed, she's so skillful. And playing up front with her is like an honour for me, because I always, can kind of learn from her. And CJ, Cheska, Huds, all the new players that have come in, they've been awesome to the team. And we've also got Farms and Liz who have come in as well. And they've just made massive impacts. So we're a completely different team to last season in the best way possible.
Definitely. And also, you, I imagine, had an opportunity to actually play against some of these players, because you joined last year, Luton, and you must have had an opportunity to play against them when they played against Real Bedford. So did you learn anything different kind of being on this side of the pitch with them?
100%. I mean, especially Huds, I was always terrified of her because she's always the loudest person on the pitch. So whenever I played against her, I was just like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Because I was up front and she's a keeper, right? So I was terrified. But having her on my team now, I'm so glad that I'm not against her. And I get to admire how she plays as well. And with Tash, it's so much easier having her on our side and not the other side, because she's the one who always sprints past, she always skills you up. And all the other players as well. Playing with them is a very, very different experience. I love it.
Yeah, they made a huge impact, obviously, last season, and the team at Real Bedford, they scored a heck of a lot of goals. So obviously, it's already starting And then obviously with yourself and Jess, I imagine there's going to be a lot of goals coming this season.
That's the plan. Hopefully, we've got to beat Royston with that goal difference as well. So the more goals we get, the better.
For sure. Obviously, that does make a quick mention that Royston have maintained their undefeated run so far. So obviously, us winning our game was as important as possible, and getting a 5-0 victory is definitely nothing to be sniffed at. So something that is incredibly exciting is you're actually currently dual signed with Crystal Palace at the moment. So what does that mean, having the dual signing, and what does it kind of involve for you?
So essentially, football has just become every single part of my life now since the dual signing. So basically, I'm half with Palace and half with Luton. So the way my week works is Monday, Tuesday, match Saturday, online. Wait, hang on, I've messed that one up. 1 minute. Okay, so training Monday, Tuesday, match Wednesday with Palace, and then online session on Saturday with Palace. And then with Luton, I train with them on Thursday and then have a match with them on Sunday. So I'm training about 5-6 times a week. But if I'm playing more than 30 minutes on Sunday, I'm not actually allowed to train on Monday due to recovery and risk of injury. So it helps when I play that extra minutes on Sunday, because then I don't have to travel the hour and a half to get to Palace like 3 times a week. So it's much better. But it's been good so far. Because I've just been back from injury, I haven't really had to manage it as much as I would be now, because now I'm sort of settling back in. I've actually got Palace training tonight in a few hours. So that's how the dual signing will work. Yeah, but it's been really, really good because I get the best of both worlds. I get the best of the PGA and I get the best of the women's sides. So I get the experience from women's and the skill sets and, professionalism from Palace.
Of course. And obviously they are an incredible team at the minute. What kind of parallels do you see between, obviously Luton's in the 5th tier and I believe Palace are in the WSL?
Yeah.
What kind of growth do you see happening from Luton to kind of get to either that level or things that are just kind of happening now? Obviously, we've talked before on previous pods about the introduction of new training with Luton, stat sessions, and all this brand new stuff. Do you see kind of an arc where Luton would be able to kind of make that growth?
Oh, 100%. Especially at the rate the club's been growing in the past few years as well. I think it's definitely possible for us to reach the same level as Palace as long as we keep growing, keep being successful. And currently it's looking like it's a very big possibility, because just the club itself, it just has this amazing environment, and all the players in the team, they're all there for each other and they just keep fighting. And I love playing in this team because they're just like one big family. So I have absolutely every faith that they can get to that point.
I look forward to it, definitely. I look forward to watching and seeing it happen. As obviously, we're going to, hopefully, last 2 seasons we got 2nd position. Hopefully this season, with all of the firepower we've now got up front, yourself included, we'll tip the balance and get over there.
Hopefully.
So also, I've definitely got to mention as well, you were actually in the FA Cup team of the season last year, which is absolutely incredible. So congratulations to you for that. You obviously got 3 goals in the FA Cup last year. What did that mean to you?
Oh my God. If I could relive that experience right now, I would. It was like an out of world experience. When I got that first goal in the FA Cup, I was like, oh my God. Maybe I can, like, this professional career I've been dreaming about since I could walk is actually happening. It felt unreal and amazing. And I was so glad to be sharing it with the right people, because just that feeling I had, I loved it. And then finishing off the season with the team of the season on there, it was just the cherry on top, because I don't even know how I managed to get there, but everyone who supported me on it, it's been great. I really, really loved every single moment of it. And obviously, the team of the season was down to public vote. So knowing that I had so many people on my, behind me, following me, trusting me and voting for me, it really gave me a lot of confidence and a lot of hope. So yeah, it's been awesome.
Glad to hear that. I voted for you, by the way, but I'm sure there were lots and lots of other people that also voted. So yeah, congratulations for that. That does kind of lead me nicely, obviously, based on what you were just saying about this has been your dream to get to professional football. it's just if you could kind of in your own words just talk about obviously your journey as to why you play football, kind of what interests you in it, why you've got such a passion for it, and then kind of your journey to where you are today, and also why you joined Luton, of course, if you could.
So my football journey began when I was only 2 years old, because my entire family is completely football crazy, and my cousin took it upon himself to turn me into this professional player, and he started as soon as I could walk. So every time I'd go to his house, he would teach me how to play football, teach me how to kick, taught me all the highs and lows of it. And I just found out that I had such a passion for it and a natural talent towards it. So I kept pursuing it. I was at a nursery team, a boys' nursery team when I was 3. And then I stopped playing football for a club until I was 7 when I went to watch my sister's football match. And then I got scouted by the chairman of Garston Ladies. And he was like, okay, you need to come along, you need to come to a training session and we'll get you involved in the club. So I did. And I played at Garston from the age of 7 to 16. My last season was last year, sadly. So I basically grew up with every single player on that team. And we finished it off on a high, actually. Won the league and won the League Cup as well. So it was really, really, really good to finish it off with that. And then when I was also 9 years old, I played for Arsenal Academy for a bit. But it got a bit too serious for me. At that time, I just kind of wanted to play football for fun. Like, the professional career was always in the back of my head, but I never thought it would really come true. And then when I was about 15, I think, and I saw the England women won the Euros and how women's football just completely escalated from there, that was when I decided, right, yeah, I'm going to go professional. I'm going to do what I can to get to that level and feel that feeling of winning the Euros. So seeing how big women's football got after that, that was my motivation. So come 16 years old last season, actually, about this time, my dad was like, okay, we need to get you at another club. You're absolutely acing grassroots football. You need to play at a higher level. So he started looking around locally, see what clubs I could find, and he stumbled across Luton. And he emailed them asking if I could join a training session. And they took me in. They saw me train. They really, really liked me. And I'm so grateful that they gave me the opportunity to take me on for that season. So from, I think it was about mid-October, I started playing for them. And honestly, it's the best decision of my life, because the player that I was last year and the player that I am now are two very, very different people. And pretty much all of that is down to Luton. And that's why I'm so grateful for that club. And then as that season progressed, I realised that I was getting really good. I was really, really enjoying football, because football it's basically my escape from everything. It's my life, and I love it to absolute pieces, especially when I'm playing with people who feel like family. And that's how it was with Garston, that's how it was at Luton, and that's how it also is now with Palace. So last season obviously went really, really well with the FA Cup and all of that. It was great. So we started looking at even higher levels to progress me. And my dad found someone who's like a semi-agent, and he reached out to other clubs. My dad formed a clip of videos of my goals. He sent them around. The agent, he's not really my agent, he's just a friend that helped me out. He managed to reach contact through Crystal Palace. And Crystal Palace were forming a new PGA, which is the under-21s. And they saw my videos and they were like, yeah, let's take you on. Let's see you play. So they did. Again, they trusted in my ability and they took me on. And that's how I got here today. Dual sign with Luton and Palace. So yeah, it's been a long journey, but yeah.
An incredible journey, if anything. And obviously that, I imagine, seeing all the learning as you're growing up is kind of giving you that killer instinct. When you see a goal, you get the goal.
Yeah, 100%.
I've heard also you're maybe the fastest at Luton Ladies at the minute. I believe at some point there's potentially going to be a race set up to see who is the fastest. So I'm very, very excited to see what happens with that.
I would love to see that, yeah.
Okay, so really just a few other quick questions then, obviously, for you. So do you have any pre-match rituals? Are you superstitious at all?
Not entirely superstitious, but I do have set routines that I like to follow. For instance, I always have to have a banana before we do our warm-up for the match. Otherwise, I feel like I'm not going to have enough energy to play. And I always have I start off every morning with Weetabix in the morning. And I always have to chew gum between the time of breakfast and the warm up. So when I have my banana, I take my gum out. But if I don't do that, I always feel like, oh, I'm going to be sick, or I'm not going to have enough energy. I have to follow those routines. So I guess it is superstitious in a sense. But that's how all my pre-match days go. Have my Weetabix, chew my gum, have that banana, and then go into the game. And actually always have 2 or 3 cherry Fantastics before the game, which Luton supply us.
Okay.
Again, for that extra energy, because I always feel like, oh, I'm not going to have enough unless I have those Haribos. So, yeah.
It definitely sounds like a pre-match ritual. So,
Do
you get nervous before games? Yeah, do you get nervous before games at all?
Yeah, I've had a few struggles with anxiety here and there. In year 9 and year 7, I struggled with it a lot, especially when it came down to football. I was actually on the cusp of quitting football in year 9 because the anxiety got really bad. But then I managed to find a professional person to see, and she helped me through it, which I'm really glad she did. And also my dad kept motivating me to go. So I don't think I would be here today if it wasn't for the help that I got. So I'm very glad for that. But last year particularly was quite a scary one for me because I was playing at a completely different level to what I was used to. So before the match, I would get extremely nervous, like shaky hands, that sick feeling. And the way I kind of overcame that was just I do these deep breathing exercises. So I'll like breathe in for 3 and out for 5. And if that's not enough, it's got to be in for 5, out for 7. And that just helps calm me down. But also last season, I was struggling with my self-confidence bit. So every time I messed up, I would be really hard on myself. And this season, I've kind of tried a different approach to that. So whenever I do something like a mistake, instead of, beating myself up about it, I'll just take my deep breaths, give myself some positive affirmations, and then get on with it. And it's helped me so much because when I get frustrated, you don't play to the best ability. But now that I've learned how to control it, it's gotten a lot easier and I have a lot more faith in myself. So the anxiety has calmed down, the beating myself up has calmed down. But sometimes before matches still I do get a bit shaky, I do feel a bit sick, but not as much as it was last season.
Do you find the team around you kind of help with any of that nervousness? I've heard obviously there's a few jokers in the crowd that get people laughing and singing along.
100%. I mean, Andy especially. She's probably the biggest joker in Luton. She always knows how to put a smile on people's faces. And I find that having, again, that sense of family within Luton, it really, really benefits you because you just feel so comfortable to be who you are. And I know that if anything were to happen to me, I would have the girls by my sides there for me. Like I got my first yellow card a few weeks ago. I got really upset about it, and I just had the whole team there for me, supporting me, and it was really, really lovely. So I know that they're there for me always.
That was the Stevenage game, right?
Yeah.
Yep, I was there. I was actually there.
Oh, really?
I saw the team crowd around you, and obviously get you calm down and cheer you up and stuff. So yeah, I was there. I was thinking, like when you were talking about it, I was like, I remember that.
Yeah.
Just, do you have any songs or playlists that you listen to get hyped up for the game, or is it just kind of the Luton Ladies playlist?
Actually, in the car journeys when I drove with my dad, we always listened to Inhaler by Foles. He introduced me to that song, and now we've decided that it's a ritual song. Every time I have a game, we got to listen to it. So that's what I listened to before. And also Glory Box by Portishead.
Classic song. Classic.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I'll give you 5 quick fire questions really quickly just to lighten it up. Okay, so Fanta or Tango?
Don't drink fizzy drinks.
Okay, don't drink fizzy drinks. Okay, fine. Apple juice or orange juice?
Oh, apple juice, 100%.
Okay. Yeah. Night out or night in?
Night out. I love going out.
Okay. Mexican food or Indian food?
Ooh. Mexican food.
Okay. Xbox or PlayStation?
Xbox, 100%. I'm Xbox all the way, have always been.
The final question, scoring an absolute worldie or getting a real good team goal?
Ooh. I think... Oh, this one's hard. I reckon a real good team goal, because then you can just always look back at it and see that, oh my god, we're such a great team, we work so well together, and it's like it becomes a core memory when you see that, and again just gives you more faith in the team. So yeah, I'll go for a team goal.
Perfect. Okay, so let's have a quick look at any other news that's happened around the Luton ladies. So I believe Andy Dickens has now had her surgery for her ACL. We will have the GoFundMe in the description for the video, if obviously you can please donate to that if you can. And also there is a signing of a new connection between the women's and the men's team, and we're hoping to get an exclusive interview with Mark Wareham, the chairman of the Luton ladies, in maybe in a couple of weeks when he's better, because I think he's ill at the minute. And then upcoming fixtures. So Luton still second after the 5-0 victory in the league. The next fixture is against Enfield Town ladies, and that is on the 6th of October at 2 o'clock, and that is at Barton Rovers. What are your thoughts ahead of that game?
I'm just excited for another home game. I love playing at Barton. Saves me the travelling as well, and also it's nice having that safe environment, being surrounded by your people. But I'm really excited for this game. Hopefully we'll give Enfield a run for their money and get that result, and pray that Royston stumble on their game on Sunday as well. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, looking back at Enfield's results, they've had 2 wins, 2 draws and 2 losses. So hopefully we make it 3 losses.
That's the
plan. So yeah, that is everything on the pod. Do you have anything else you'd like to add at this point?
Not that I can think of right now, no.
Okay, no worries. Okay, well, thank you, obviously, everyone, for listening. Big thanks to Black Star and Carry On for giving us the equipment to make us sound great, and a shout out to the pod sponsors, the Record Shop in Amersham. They've got vinyl, CDs, guitars, and more. And if you mention the OK Football Show and you're nice, you can get a discount in there. Like and subscribe if you like the content, and come on, you hatters.